Hi, friends, and welcome back to Hope in June, a quiet place for anyone walking through infertility or a season of waiting. I'm Chandler, and today's episode carries a gentle trigger warning. So today we're going to be talking about miscarriages and the journey of trying again. Before we get started, you know how we do, okay? We need to settle in. Let's breathe together. Ready? We're going to do this 3 times. We're going to inhale for 3, pause, exhale for 3. And we're going to do that 3 times. Ready? Inhale. Pause, exhale, inhale, pause, exhale, and last time, inhale, pause, exhale. All right, I want to check in with you guys. It's been a minute. I missed you. We took a week off last week, but I feel refreshed, renewed. The break was needed. So my whole entire house got the stomach bug and it was horrible. And there are a lot of people in my house. So it hit us all at different times. And then trying to keep the other ones well, it was a mess. I took a break last week just to kind of regroup, get myself all the way better. And I can say that I do feel better. And I missed you guys. So I want to check in. What is one small thing, no matter how simple, that helped you breathe a little easier this week? Thank you for sharing. So one thing that helped me breathe a little easier this week, honestly, this community. And I know you're probably like, girl, but seriously, y'all, this work, this business, this podcast, this community, the things I'm doing with the June Collective, all of that is truly my passion. And I feel like it is my purpose here on this earth. This is the reason why I'm here on this earth. And although I've only been doing it consistently for the past month or so, it's what keeps me going. Little messages that I get from you guys saying that what I do matters. Little messages I get from you guys saying how it's helped you, or you shared it with somebody that you knew was going through this. It means the world to know that what I'm doing, the purpose that I have in my head, because sometimes you can feel like, okay, I feel like I should be doing this and it sounds like a great idea in my head, but is it really a good idea? Like, do other people actually care? Like, do they actually need it? And so receiving that confirmation from you guys is really what helped last week be a little bit easier, because I'm not gonna lie to you, I shared this with the online community. I was a little down this past week because the numbers aren't numbering and the algorithm is not algorithming, and it seems like my content falls flat. The things I put out there falls flat because it's not like exponential growth, you know what I mean? But I have to remind myself, and I talked about this on my personal page a little bit, we can't coexist in the season of sowing and reaping. They can't happen at the same time. Although I would love for them to. They can't. And a season is a season. It's not like fall is here one day and then winter is here the next day. Like, although it might feel like that in the great state of Texas, that's not the case. So even though it might feel that way and we would like for that, I would love to sow the seeds of this community, of this podcast, of the June Collective, all the things I'm doing. I would love to sow it today and reap the harvest tomorrow, and have thousands of people in the community, thousands of people that are following us, thousands of people that are liking and commenting and sharing our posts, that are viewing our posts, thousands of people that are purchasing from the June Collective. I would love to quit my 9-to-5 tomorrow, but that's not the reality. We can't be in the season of sowing. We can't be in the season of sowing and the season of reaping at the same time. Those seasons don't happen simultaneously. So I feel like I am in my sowing season, but the promise that was promised to me is that the reaping will come. The harvest is nigh. Come on, somebody. The harvest is nigh. It will happen, but I have to go through that sowing period first. And that part's not fun. That part is not fun because it makes you wonder, okay, are these are these seeds ever gonna sprout? Are these plants ever gonna come forth? Like, am I just watering dirt and nothing's ever gonna come from this? But it will, because he said he would, and he promised that. So, not trying to preach to y'all or nothing like that, but that was something that really helped this week be a little bit easier for me. And that was in your comments, your messages, the engagement that you do give me, the people that are in the online community, because it's not empty. We got some people in there. So the ones that are, shout outs to the ones that are in there that feel like it's beneficial to them. I truly appreciate you. The ones that have purchased from the June Collective, thank you so much. I love you and I appreciate you for seeing the vision and for choosing to walk alongside with me. Those are those gentle reminders, and I ask God for them all the time, for me to see that, okay, it's working. It's purpose. We're supposed to be doing this. I'm on the right path. Still in the planting season, still in the sowing season, but I'm doing what's right. And so I know that when it's time for me to reap, when it's time for me to gather the harvest, it will be way more than I ever imagined it could be. Because right now we're in that seedling phase, and we just planting seeds, and I'm already getting these gentle reminders that I'm doing the right thing. Maybe that's when you plant a seed. I don't know much about gardening. My mother-in-law does. Maybe that's the part when you plant the seed and you see like the little green sprout, and it be there for a long time and then it just shoots up and you got this beautiful plant. So maybe that's where we are. Maybe that's the gentle reminders that I get from you all. So that's helped me. That's helped make this week a little bit easier for me. I didn't mean to go off on a tangent, but I want to share that because I don't know who that's for, but that helped me this week. So now I don't know who that was for. It's crazy because that kind of ties in with our theme for today and what we're going to be talking about, and how you can navigate trying to conceive after experiencing such a great loss. Like what that looks like. Do you still experience grief? Are you still sad? Or do you just fully move into being happy and going after trying to conceive again? What does that look like? What emotions are you going to experience? How do you navigate that? How do you keep pushing through? So before we get started, let's get our affirmations and say those so that we can go into this with a fresh mindset and ready to receive whatever is here for us today. So repeat after me. My love and my loss both matter. I can hold grief and hope at the same time. All right, one more time. My love and my loss both matter. I can hold grief and hope at the same time. All right, you guys, let's settle in. So, thinking back to, I shared this, my very first miscarriage that I had, my doctor immediately suggested that we get back to trying. And so we did. Didn't really know what to expect, what was going to happen. Had just experienced a whirlwind that was a miscarriage. And I didn't know what to expect after that because he really didn't give me any guidance. And so after going through lots of negative pregnancy tests, more miscarriages, lots of testing, lots of medications, and a switch of doctors. Finally got a positive pregnancy test that was viable and lasted through the first trimester. So we were able to get over the first trimester hump. And that was something that I didn't know was so crucial. Just lack of knowledge and lack of, doctors sharing that with me, that, that first trimester period is a very, very crucial time for yourself as the carrier and the baby as well. And so after we made it over that hump, I was like, okay, please believe me, that whole time, lots of anxiety, lots of holding my breath, just waiting for the other shoe to drop, because I was like, I had experienced so much loss by that point, several miscarriages, lots of hope, and then just it ending in what I considered failure. And so when we were going through that period, just the backing up to the trying to conceive part, there was a lot of anxiety in that. And there was a lot of anger, if you will. There was a lot of resentment. There was a lot of feelings of my body is broken. It's not doing what it needs to do. this is the one sole thing that I was put on this earth to do, and I can't even achieve that. Like a lot of talking bad to myself, a lot of that, a lot of unhealthy talking to myself. And so I had to come to a point, and I'm so thankful for the circle of people that I had around me, especially my husband, because it came to a point where we weren't on the best of terms, because it's like, okay, you might feel some type of way about me because I can't achieve this. And then I kind of feel some type of way about you because, you not having any issues, you know what I mean? So we weren't in the best of places, because I felt like I was the reason why we weren't able to have a child, and he was able to just like, be there because we had gone through testing and stuff and saw that it wasn't anything on his part. And so there was resentment there because of that. I'm not gonna lie to you. Definitely resented him during that time until we had an open and honest conversation about it, and we're very real with each other, and we were able to come to terms with like, okay, we're a team. Like, we're in this together. It's not me versus you. We're in this together. And so after we overcame that portion, there was still the process of like, okay, my period is late. Is it even worth me taking a test? Because it's just going to be a no. Like, I had already put in my head, it's going to be a no. And if it is a yes, it's only going to last like a couple days. And then I'll be right back here at the doctor's office getting medicine for them to help me pass it. Or I'm going to have to go into the hospital and have another DNC. Or it's going to end in a chemical pregnancy. Like, all those things, all that negative talk going on in my head. And so I had already decided what it was going to be, and not really leaving much room for any kind of hope or positivity at all. And so really it took me talking and voicing those things because in my head I was just spiraling. I would say those things, and we would go round and round in circles with myself in my head. And it wasn't until I started talking to other people, and like I said, that close-knit group of people who could take it, because everybody can't take it. We talked about that last week. Everybody can't handle the things that you have to say, because it's a dark time right now. And so you have to find that close-knit group of people who can. And I had that close-knit group of people, and when I would say these things, they would let me sound it off and say how I was feeling and get it out. But then they would feed me back positivity in a way that I could accept it and not be annoyed by it, if that makes sense. And so I was able to see, okay, kind of spiraling a little bit, and I might need to take a break for a minute. And so there was a period in time where I did need to take a break, and that was hard, because it's funny, I shared this with the community last week. I shared with them about how it's hard for me personally to take breaks from things that I'm truly, truly passionate about and something that I really, really want, because it makes me feel like I gave up. It makes me feel like I quit, like I'm a failure. Or if I take my hands off of it, like if I'm not constantly like going after it, striving it, like don't have a grip on it at all times, if I take my hands off of it and release control, it makes it seem like in my head it vanished, it went away, it's never going to happen. And that's something I still struggle with to this day, because I was just battling that last week. But so that's what I had in my head. And so people were suggesting, maybe you should take a break, but in a very, very nice way. It wasn't like a way that I couldn't receive. And they were right. I did need to take a break because I was spiraling bad. And so I did. And it allowed me the time to, refocus, get back to myself. What are things that I love? What are things that make me happy outside of trying to have a baby? And that was hard to try to decipher, because I had been so heavily in this trying to conceive, trying to be a mother, trying to get pregnant, trying to bring a baby into this world, that I had like morphed into like my identity, and that goal had morphed into one, and that's all that I was. I didn't know anything else. Hobbies stopped, things I liked stopped, normal conversations stopped, things that I watched and I consumed stopped. And that's all I was, and all I thought about, and all I consumed 24/8. That was it. And so I had needed that time period to pause and take a break so that I can unmorph them and get back to who I was as a person, aside from the goal that I was trying to achieve. Now, that was my story. That's what I needed to do. I'm not saying that everybody needs to do that, and that's not everybody's story. Everybody doesn't have that problem, but for me, I did. So if you resonate with that, you might want to consider doing that, and we can always talk about that more, what that looks like. I just knew for me, that's what I needed. When I had that time period to like take a break and reflect and get back to me, it helped strengthen me because it was a time for me to fill my cup back up again, because I was pouring from an empty vessel. Nothing was in me. And I was giving it to this journey, giving it to taking these medications, giving it to these injections, giving it to these hormones, giving it to these doctor's appointments. And I was giving, and nothing was coming back and pouring into me because I wasn't making any time to do that for myself. I wasn't allowing anybody to pour into me because I was so laser focused on that goal. And so that period was very beneficial for me to fill my own cup so that I had the energy to be able to pour into this journey, because it is a lot. It is tiring. It is exhausting. It takes a lot of energy to deal with this on the daily. And so I had to have that moment to where I poured into myself. Then I was able to get back to trying. Because I took that break to pour into myself, I was able to figure out how to simultaneously pour to myself, but also continue my journey of trying to conceive. But for me, I had to take a break so that I could do that and then get back to it so I can learn how to do them both at the same time. So when we did start trying again, I was very, very anxious, very scared, and not very hopeful. I was able to have a little bit more, but still in the back of my head, I'm like, girl, you know how this is going to end. I don't even know why you're getting your hopes up. Why are you even taking that test? Why are you even checking the timer? Why are you even setting a timer? Who cares? You know how this is going to end. In the back of my head, I was hearing that, and I was telling myself that, and I was saying that kind of stuff. And so when we did finally have a positive test, I remember and went to the doctor's office, had it confirmed. HCG levels were doubling, tripling as they were supposed to. Then I was able to breathe a little bit lighter, but I was still holding my breath in the back of my head. I was still holding my breath. I was still waiting on that other shoe to drop. And so I was happy, but it's like I could never let myself be fully happy, because I'm like, I can't open my heart up and leave myself vulnerable for that kind of heartbreak again. Because you got to think, first miscarriage or the first pregnancy, I wasn't expecting it to end in miscarriage. That was the furthest thing from my mind. Didn't even think it was possible. So I'm just here, open, free, vulnerable. Like, this is going to be a great pregnancy. I can't wait to have this baby. Everything is great. All sunshine and rainbows. And then when you have a miscarriage, it's almost like something is taken from you and it never returns. It's like a part of you gets like grayed out and the color never comes back. And so that gray side stayed there. And honestly, if I'm 100% with you, that gray stayed with me through every pregnancy I had thereafter. And I have 4 children. And every single pregnancy, I would have, like with my last one, that was my 4th child. And I had 3 examples that, okay, you can bring a child into this world, but I was still scared. I was still waiting for the shoe to drop. I was still, TMI, wiping when I went to the bathroom and checking and looking to see if I was going to see blood. Because that's just what I'm used to. After you go through something like that, it's hard to erase it from your brain. That trauma sticks with you. You learn how to work through it, but it does stick with you. So there are habits that I still carried into that last pregnancy. And I had 3 examples that, girl, it's going to be okay. You can do this. You can bring viable children into this world. But because of that miscarriage, because that season of loss, it stuck with me. And it sucks. And I wish I had the answer for how that goes away, but I don't. It's crazy. I was just talking to someone that was a couple weeks ago, and she was telling me how she just burst into tears after a conversation she had, and she was she was battling that feeling of guilt because of what that child would have been. But if that child would have been, then her last child would not be here. And so just battling that guilt, that sticks with you. And her youngest that miscarriage probably happened. That miscarriage happened like 5 or 6 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. And she still was boohooing crying 2 weeks ago. It sticks with you. I wish I had an answer for how to make it go away, but it doesn't. And I don't have an answer. But I can give you some tips, some helpful things to help you continue to get through it. And talking about it is one of them. And I'm so glad that she texted me and told me about what had happened, and my prayer is that she felt better after we talked and she got it out. But that's real. It's a natural feeling. You're gonna still, that trauma, it sticks with you. It just does. And so that was something that I had to work through, and it was hard. And honestly, it, like I said, it didn't go away. So I say all that to say that anxiety that you feel, that anxiousness, that feeling of that pit in the bottom of your stomach while you're trying to conceive after experiencing loss, it's real. And you don't have to feel like you're being over dramatic, like you're overthinking things, or you're not being grateful. Ooh, that's one that you don't feel like you're not great just because you feel that anxiety and you still feel that grief and that sadness for what was, does not mean that you are not grateful for your current situation. I prayed about that throughout every pregnancy that I had thereafter, because I wanted God to see my heart. I was like, Lord, please search my heart and see that I am not ungrateful for this current pregnancy. I'm not doubting you. I'm not ungrateful for or unhappy for my current situation, but I still hurt. And also it was hard to not feel guilty because of the life that did not get to come into this world. That was another one that I battled with. And many women battle with that. Because of course you're feeling these flutters in your stomach. You are planning for this child to come, but you can't help but to think about that little one that did not get to make it, that didn't get to come. And it's so sad, and my heart breaks for every single person that has to experience something like that. But you don't have to feel bad for feeling guilty, for having those moments of guilt, for having those moments of anxiety, for having those moments of sadness. Both can exist in the same time. You can grieve what was and also have hope for the future and what will be. They can coexist. It's just finding healthy ways to navigate and keep going through both. Like I mentioned, I did come up with some things to help when it comes to navigating. So in today's segment, the first one is living with both hope and grief. I wanted to come up with some ways for you to be able to navigate that. But again, this is different for everybody, and it is a very, very fragile and delicate piece of your life. And so do what's best for you. Do what you feel honors your feelings and what you have going on and what feels right. If it doesn't feel right, don't do it. Does feel right, then please, by all means. Like I said, these are just some things that I thought of that I would have done or that I did do to help me navigate that time period of trying to conceive, that time period of being pregnant after experiencing loss, that time period of having to navigate both that grief and that hope at the same time. So something to help honor what was, whether that was your child, that time period in your life, however you want to commemorate that or put in some kind of symbol to that chapter in your life can help you acknowledge it. And so that way you can properly grieve it instead of ignoring it. Because y'all, I am the queen of compartmentalizing my feelings, and I took them away. I took them away in a little pocket, and I put them there, and I close it. I put them in the pocket, and then I take the pocket and I put the pocket in a closet, and then I close the door of the closet, and then I lock the closet, and then I walk away. And it never was. I forget about it as if it was never there. I'm the queen of doing that. And so that's not healthy. And I'm learning and I'm working through that, trying to do better about that, trying to acknowledge my feelings, feel my feelings, and then work through my feelings. And so that's something that it's healthy to do during this time. But again, you have to do it in a time that feels right for you. And it might not be right away. It might take some time, some months, some weeks, some years. It might take before you're ready to feel it. So these are some things that can help honor that time and acknowledge that time in your life. So creating some kind of personal ritual or remembrance of that chapter of your child, by lighting a candle on significant dates, having an ornament on your tree, planting a flower, a plant. This practice can be something quiet and personal for you that nobody else has to know about, but can be something, your little way of acknowledging what was, so that you're not just completely forgetting about it. That way you can acknowledge what was and continue on your journey as well. Something also is carrying a symbol. That's something that I loved to do. That's really the reason why part of the reason why I created the June Collective, is because I loved to wear things that signify that time period in my life and what I went through. That helps me remain encouraged. So wearing some kind of, encouraging shirt or a special piece of clothing, a piece of jewelry, a charm, a small keepsake that serves as a steady reminder of not only your baby's existence, but also that time period in your life. And just to see how far you come as you travel into the next season. And another thing, it's okay and it's hard, but integrating them into your everyday language, that time period, your child's name, and referring to them whenever it feels right. Again, y'all, it breaks my heart to even give these tips because it sucks. For lack of better words, it sucks that you even have to do this, that we even have to do this, that I had to do this, that you currently have to do this, or you had to do this. It sucks. But these are some things that can help you properly move on without feeling like you're leaving them behind or you're forgetting about them. And then also remembering and being aware of different anniversaries, dates, time frames that can be triggering to you, and how to navigate those time periods. So I'm actually going to share a list of these practices and things that can help you with that in our online community this week, just to help you, because they can sneak up on you. I mean, for some reason, and it's crazy that it happens this way, but every year in the month of June, I find myself getting a little sad every year, and I don't realize it. And it's crazy because it's a time where I'm happy as well, because guess what? I have 2 children whose birthdays are in June. I have one whose birthday is in the beginning of June, and then I have one now that is at the end of June. But in the middle, I find myself getting a little sad until I remember, and I'm like, oh, right, this is that trauma response that this is when I had my first miscarriage, and I forget about it until it sneaks up on me. And so to help you to keep it from sneaking up on you, I'm going to share some gentle practices, some mental health and mindfulness tools to help you navigate those triggers and those anniversaries that might sneak up on you. So again, please remember all those things that I shared. Do what feels right for you, because guess what? There's no right or wrong way to grieve or to feel or to navigate what you have been through, because you've been through a lot. You're navigating a lot. You're working through a lot. You're actively walking through a lot. There's no right or wrong way to do it. There's no playbook for it. All you can do is what feels right for you, and what feels right for you might not feel right for somebody else, and vice versa. So take the good, leave the bad, and do what feels best for you. Now, I will say some practices that I did while I was in that period of pause before I was ready to start trying to conceive again. And then I started integrating them into that season of when we were ready to try again, were some self-care practices. And I know people say self-care. For some reason, my mind automatically goes to a face mask. Every time somebody says self-care, I picture a face mask, and I don't know why. But I know it's like one of those like hot topic words that people talk about all the time now. But seriously, y'all, take care of yourself. That's the only way you're going to be able to move forward during such a tough season. And so these are some things that can help you when it comes to navigating, trying to conceive, but also continuing to pour into yourself so that you can withstand that walk, so that you can withstand trying, so that you can withstand to keep going, keep moving forward. So one of the things that was very beneficial to me that I would suggest to anybody is seeking therapy and professional support. So I talked about this before. I talked to, during that time period, my sister actually suggested that I find a therapist, and I did. I found one that specialized in infertility and infant loss and grief, and she was very helpful to talk to, having that scheduled time to talk with somebody who didn't know me. And I felt comfortable enough to just lay out how I was feeling, pour out how I was feeling, and leave with some tools to be able to help me. It's very, very beneficial to me. And so I would highly suggest, if you feel like that is something that you're comfortable with and that's something that can help you, I would highly suggest talking to someone. Search for different providers in your area that specialize in perinatal loss or infertility. And a lot of times they're listed as reproductive mental health. So when you start searching, you know what to look for. And I would start small. Start with a short intake call, maybe doing a telehealth visit, or if you're up for doing, in-person sessions, whatever feels right for you. But you don't have to completely dive in and say, okay, I'm going to do a 1-hour session with my therapist in person. No, you can start off small. Just do a little small intake session, see how that feels, and see if it's something you want to continue with. Maybe, like I said, you want to do video conferencing, so find someone that offers that. Start there, and then if you feel like in person would be beneficial to you, then you can go that route as well. But I'm so glad we are now in the day and age where there are so many different options that one size doesn't fit all. One way doesn't work for everyone, and so you can find what route works best for you. So something else that's very important that my husband and I would do on a weekly basis is scheduling a feelings check-in. So he knew I don't like talking about my feelings often. That's something that's very daunting for me. Again, I'm working on it. But we would schedule feelings check-ins with each other to just really see how each other was doing. Be open and honest and real with each other. I will also do these with my sister. I mentioned that before. And it's just an opportunity for you to lay out how you feel. So, because a lot of times when you're in that cycle of trying to conceive, waiting on a positive test, waiting on your cycle, waiting to see if you're going to get your cycle, you're in that 2-week wait, you're waiting to have a doctor's appointment, waiting to hear back from the doctors, you're waiting to have a blood test, waiting back to get those results from that blood test. There's a lot of waiting. And during that waiting, you're doing other things and you forget to say how you feel or have those moments of pause to where you can check in with yourself, because a lot of times I was like a walking zombie and I didn't know how I felt until somebody asked me. I was like, oh, actually I feel this way. I feel anxious. I'm actually really angry. I'm actually really sad. I'm actually really hopeful this week, So having those predictable times when we would check in with each other was super helpful. Sometimes we would do it over coffee. Sometimes we would do it while we're eating breakfast. Sometimes we would go for a walk. Just anything, just to have that moment to where we're doing other things. So we felt comfortable enough to check in with each other, because I'll be completely honest, and I was like this as well. I was guilty of it. Your significant other is going through it too with you. What you feel, they feel. And the sadness that you feel, they feel it too, just in a different way. It's not exactly the same as you, because no, they didn't carry this child in their body. They're not the ones feeling all the things, because they're not getting poked and prodded and all this stuff, but they're having to sit and watch the one that they love the most go through all of this while also grieving. So having that time to check in with them keeps you guys on a good page and on one accord, so they see that, okay, you care about my feelings too. You see that, this isn't just happening to you, it's happening to me too. And so it keeps you on the same page and on a good page, and kind of helps you reconnect as well. And then I would definitely emphasize listening without necessarily problem solving, because this will help both of you feel heard and less alone, and just being able to get it out. And then, of course, if you want your problem solved, saying that, but if this is just a session just for you to just get out how you feel, then making that known as well. And then gentle movement and body care. I talk about this all the time. My husband would literally drag me out the house and make me go for a walk. Or he'd be like, let's go to the mall. That's a way for you to move your body. Go for a massage, go get a pedicure. Any ways of self-care that felt right for me, that brought me joy and happiness. He was very instrumental with suggesting those when I, of course, just wanted to lay in bed all day and didn't want to do it. He was instrumental in that. My family, like I said, that close-knit tight circle, they were real instrumental in making sure that I got that gentle movement and that body care, that self-care that I needed, that would help pour into my cup. Some things like walking, pedicures, like I mentioned, massages, yoga, Pilates, swimming, light stretching, full nighttime self-care, skincare routine. I'm talking face mask and all. A nice hair care routine, because all in all, it doesn't matter what you do necessarily. It's a way for you to release that tension that you're feeling, that you've bottled up. And it's a way for you to just release it and reconnect with your body. Not trying to fix your body, but just reconnect with your body and fill your cup and do some things that actually bring you joy. Now, something that I want to give fair warning, that this is not a checklist, okay? It's not something for you to say, okay, well, I did my skincare and I washed my hair and I went for a walk and I got a massage and I still feel horrible. It's not a fix-it list. It's not just to check off and say that you did it. No, it's for you to really take the time, pour into yourself, do some things that you love, and it's for you to build a sustainable support plan to help you while you're going through that trying to conceive period, because it's a daunting time. It's a stressful time. It's a time full of high anxiety. It's a time full of unknowns, and that alone is stressful. And so just finding other ways to take your attention off of that for a little bit and to pour into yourself so it can help sustain you while you are on that journey of trying to conceive. So I hope that helps. Again, it sucks that you even have to go through that you even have to think about these kind of things. But my hope and my prayer is that you will find some ways to help you while you're going through that time period. And please, please hear me when I say, if you take nothing else from this, realize and understand and know and be okay with the fact that you will have those moments of grief where you remember and that trauma comes up, those feelings come up again, that loss that you experienced, and that's okay. You can feel that and also be hopeful for the future. You can feel that and also be happy to be able to try again and hope for a positive test. You can feel that and be happy that you got a positive test. You can feel sadness and grief and also happiness because you do get to decorate a nursery, or you do get to look forward to bringing a baby home. And you can also be anxious of what that's going to be like because of what you experienced previously. It can all exist at the same time. It's just finding ways to navigate it and finding healthy ways, keyword, healthy ways to continue and move through it. Because like I said, those feelings can make you want to freeze up and just stay still and stay where you are and not move forward. It's like, nope, nope. Or nope, don't want to talk about it. Nope, not going to feel it. Nope, I'm not going to cry today. Nope, I'm not even going to acknowledge it. Nope, we're going to fully just think about what I have currently in my face, what I'm currently going through, because I don't want to seem ungrateful. No, you're not ungrateful because you feel. You're human. You're human. You lost something. You experienced a great traumatic event. You're human. So you can feel those things, that grief, that loss, that anxiety, that sadness, that anger, but also hope for the future, happiness for the future, excitement for what's ahead, all at the same time. And just finding ways to navigate them and walk through it while you feel both of those things. And the key is finding ways to pour into you, remembering what makes you happy so that you can continue to walk through that. Finding ways to acknowledge what happened, remember what happened, but also pouring into yourself so that you can continue to press forward. So that is the end of today's episode. I missed you guys so much. I'm so glad we got to come together to talk once again. Y'all, this year is flying by. I can't believe this is the last week of October. It's going to be November next week. Oh my goodness, this is crazy. Like I said, so many things planned, so many things coming up. I'm just glad to be on this journey with you guys, and just be able to be a part and creating these resources and this community for you all. I love each and every one of you. Thank you for your continued support. If you want to stay plugged into all the things we have going on, be sure to follow us on all social medias at Hope in June Community. If you are looking for deeper conversations and more behind the scenes content and resources, early access to different things we have going on within the community, then consider joining our online Patreon community, where you can have access to all of those things. The link to join will be down below in the description box, as well as the show notes. And that is all. I love you guys so much. Until next time, remember, courage and grief can live side by side. Take a deep breath, carry a little light with you, and I'll meet you back here next week. Bye.